All righty, guys, all facts media here. I'm Aaron Robinson, joined by my twin brother, Andrew Robinson. And today we got a special guest. We have Monmouth head coach, King Rice. Coach, it's been a long time coming, man. Thanks for coming on with us today.
It's great to see you guys, man, and it's good to be here. Good to be here.
We're gonna go ahead and get right into it, man. Obviously, we're in an extremely crazy time right now with the coronavirus pandemic, and everybody's steady trying to figure out how we can keep our players safe, keep our coaches safe, and have a season. So after you guys were just shut down for a little bit, and just got back practicing. So how are you guys kind of dealing these last few days, coming back to practice after being shut down, and kind of just what's the thought process and the feeling around your program right now, based on what's been going on?
Well, as you can see, there you go. Right? That's how you deal with it. That's how you deal with it, okay? You keep your mask on, you keep your hands washed. What we're trying to do, I'm so fortunate that I'm the coach at Monmouth. I have great leadership here, okay? I always go into the meetings and I thank Dr. McNeil, our athletic director, all the time, because when she hired me, I didn't really understand how I won this job. And getting to know her over the years, I'm just thankful because the whole time she's been mentoring me. I'm her coach and I'm doing how I like to do, but through this 10 years, I've grown a lot, and she's the main reason that I've grown in this business. She calms me down when I get too upset. We have meetings where we're one-on-one and I'll talk about things and she'll tell me that she feels like I'm right, but sometimes it's not the right time, and how I'm trying to say it might not be the right time for people to receive it. So she works with me on all those things, and I feel so lucky to have her leading us through this, because she's not going to make decisions for Monmouth basketball because of money. She truly is a person that cares about the kids, and we're going to try to move this forward, but first keep our kids safe. So we're not running around just trying to pick up games to get money. Early on, she didn't want to do a bubble, so we decided against that. And then on campus, she's supportive of our kids. She understands they're 18 to 22. And as a 51-year-old man, you tell me to put on the mask, I see the numbers, I just put it on. As a young kid, you see people saying it's not going to impact you as much. Well, to get kids to just shut down their lives is a hard thing to do. So what we're trying to do is show them we're on their side. And we're trying to give them some guidance without so many strict, you have to do this. And then we work with them. We know some days they're going to forget their mask, so we have masks for them. We remind them, hey, guys, if you want to play, the way we're going to do this is if we have to stay tight together. And we can't take chances just going around random people. And then we leave it up to them to do the right thing. So because of her leadership and our new president, he's not new anymore, he's been here a year, they've been guiding our school through this, and I feel like I'm the lucky one to get to work with them.
Sir. Now, from a basketball standpoint, what has this preseason been like as far as just trying to get workouts in, obviously then being shut down, returning to practice, with the season really like right around the corner? From a basketball standpoint, what has that been like for you guys?
Well, once again, you go back to who you are as a coach, okay? The kids have not asked for this. And I try to think back, but it was a long time ago when I played, okay? I played long time ago. So I try to think back, but it's been so long. So I'm leaning on them. I have a son that plays at Bucknell, and my son told me early on in this, he said, Dad, I worked too hard for me not to play this year. So please don't try to step in and tell me I have to come home. And I'm like, well, if it's not safe, man. He said, Dad, I'm staying and I'm playing. Okay, that's what I'm doing, Dad. And I said, well, all right. So then I tried to reach out to our parents to see how they felt about it, because I think that's important when you're in something like this. And our parents trusted our leadership at our school. And then our players just want to play. So since we've been shut down twice already, what I've tried to do is when we get together, I make it fun. Okay, I'm a coach, and like I said, coaches like to control everything. Well, we don't have control right now. I don't have my schedule exactly how it's supposed to be, which throws a lot of guys off. Well, for me, we're just gonna hoop, okay? And that's why I told them. I said, guys, y'all know how to hoop, okay? I've been teaching some of you for 3 or 4 years. You know how I like it. All right, here's what we have to do. We have to play harder than everybody we see. Okay, I have to know that y'all will do that. Okay, no matter what happens, we have to be the most together team when we play against other teams. Okay, no one's gonna be in the gym. We have to be the most together team. And if you guys will do those things, I'll let you play on offense. So far it's been working. I'm very fortunate that I have Dion Hammond as a senior, George Pappas, Marcus McCleary, and Malik Martin. Those guys, as you know, when you become a senior, you're like a grown man. And I've gotten out of their way. Our practices have been very lively. Not as many drills and breakdown. We're playing more this year because I feel like for right now, that's the best way to get them ready for a game. We did a little bit of breakdown, then we got shut down. And then we came back and we were doing breakdown, we got shut down again. So I'm like, you know what? We can't keep doing breakdown or we won't be ready to play a real game. So we went the other way. Their energy went up, getting to play in practice. And now we're going to fix our problems that way.
Now, you've had coaches like Rick Pitino come out and say that, we need to push the start of the season back. I know University of Vermont came out and said they're not playing any games until December 18th. What is your thoughts on, whether the NCAA should consider moving the season back? And do you think that would be a realistic outcome for them to look at this point in time?
Well, I have all, you get all kinds of different stories on this, okay? And I said some things last week to a reporter, and he reported most of what I said, but they didn't say that I trust the leadership at my school. I trust Dr. McNeil, okay? I know if President Leahy and Dr. McNeil didn't feel like we were safe to do this, they would come to me and say, King, we can't do it anymore, okay? So I feel safe because of that, okay? But I also look at it and I say, well, they shut us down in March because they thought it was so dangerous, okay? Well, right now, the numbers are worse than it was in March. See, but everybody's tired of being home. Everybody's worried about other things, which I am too. I'm concerned about my staff. I'm concerned. I have staff members that have kids in college, and everybody needs their job. I need my job. And to be able to continue paying my bills and living the life that we've created, everybody needs that. But I also look at the numbers and I look at what's worked. I see masks work, so I keep my mask on. In basketball, what I know worked was the NBA worked. But those guys were in a bubble for over 100 days. Nobody in, nobody out. And then when they let people in after about 48, 50 days, you had to be quarantined first. Then when you got there, you had to quarantine. And then no one got sick. Okay? You watch football, in NFL, people got sick. If you just go random living and then come back together, something's going to happen. I'm dealing with parents and people's kids. Okay? I'm not. If Bucknell calls me and says my son has a problem because of COVID, I'm going to be upset. I'm not going to say, well, he should have been up there trying to do this for the NCAA to play. That's not what I'm going to say. I'm going to be mad at the coach. And if something happened to one of my players, I'm expecting my parents would be mad with me. So I'm not sure. I'm paying attention. I'm trying to keep my kids as safe as possible. My parents want us to play. My kids definitely want to play. I want to do it, but I'm weary a little bit. I worry about it because I am a parent. But I already told you, my own son said there's no way that he's shutting down if I say so. So I'm going to keep showing up because I trust the people that are making the decisions at Monmouth.
Right. Now the NCAA recently came out and said that they're going to do the NCAA tournament on the bubble. Really down in the headquarters in Indiana. So the NCAA seems set on having an NCAA tournament this season. I think we all are aware of the ramifications of what happened last year when we did not have the NCAA tournament, the amount of revenue that was lost. So how do you feel about just the importance of having a season this year, getting to the NCAA tournament in March, and just seeing this season through?
Well, I'm full steam ahead right now. We are planning on playing Hofstra next week. That's our first game. Then we're coming to Maryland. I know you guys know I have 2 young men from Maryland on my team. We're super excited about that. I am a very good friend of Mark Turgeon's. I think the fans down there are on him too much, all right, because I think he's a tremendous coach, but he's even a better person. And I know the graduation rates at Maryland, and I have never checked this, but I know under Coach Turgeon, guys are graduating and moving on to careers and moving on to successful lives. And I think because of the wins and losses, that's what we get judged on. But the longer I'm doing this, that's the least important part, the wins and losses. I know our fans might get upset. I say that. I want to win just like everybody else. But the impact that you can have on young men becoming men that are going to be fathers, I think that's what we should be judged on as coaches. And because Mark's a friend of mine and I've watched him over the years, I think he does a tremendous job there. And I'm fortunate that we're going to get to play him again. He's already played us twice in my 10 years. This will be the 3rd time. So that obviously helps us financially. This year, I feel like it was going to help us financially, and then this all hit. So now we're doing our end of the deal because I think they have a very good team, and I think that they have a chance to go on and do some big things this year. So he has to get to a certain amount of games against quality opponents. So even without the big paycheck, we're going to go down there and honor that to bring those 2 young kids home, and also I get to see a good friend of mine.
So now switching a little bit to the basketball piece, after you talked about, Dion Hammond and Marcus McClary and Malik Martin, all these guys that you have returning, as well as the addition of Donovan, totally another Maryland guy. You guys got picked 3rd in the preseason poll last week. Talk about you guys' team and the confidence that you have in your group going forward this season.
Well, that's what I keep telling everybody. I have 4 older guys. We've been through a lot together. I know what I'm going to get from them, even though they've gotten more mature over the years. Their confidence is through the roof. And when we got shut down the first time, 5 or 6 guys had to go into quarantine. So I had my 4 seniors and my 4 freshmen there where we could work out together. So I just matched them up, senior with freshman. And just to teach the young guys how we do things here. And even though I didn't have my whole team, that really worked. It really worked to have an older guy assigned to a younger guy. When I get frustrated, I'd say, somebody better get their freshman. And then the older guy, Coach, I got him. Don't worry about it, Coach. And it really was a cool thing at the start. And then when we implemented the other guys, we didn't have to slow down for the freshmen. They were already up to speed, and it really, I think that helped us. But when you have 4 older guys I'm leaving a lot of things up to them because I want them to have fun. So they're usually in our program, the seniors get to make a lot of decisions. This year, the seniors are making more than ever because I truly want to make this a cool experience for them. And we don't know what each day is going to each day is going to bring. We might get shut down. We just got tested yesterday. We can get shut down again. We might just get to play all the way through. So we just have to be ready for anything. And when you have 4 older guys, it makes you feel good as a coach, especially when you're not getting regular practice hours.
Right. Now, one of those older guys is Dion Hammond, who just selected preseason first team All-MAC. He's been one of the mainstays for you guys over the last couple of years. When you look at his game, when you compare him to kind of other great guys that you've had in your program, the Justin Robinsons and the Deion Jones and things like that, where does he stack up with those guys? Kind of, what do you think about just his game, his ability to lead you guys into the season this year?
Dion has been tremendous since the day he stepped on campus. I think we were fortunate to get him. He was close to going to Quinnipiac. I think you guys did your job. And
yeah, Drew hosted him on, so apparently we didn't do good enough.
No, I think his dad had something to do with that, and his high school coach. I think they kind of strong-armed him into coming and playing for me. Because Dion even told me I was going to Quinnipiac, coach. I'm like, well, don't say that anymore. I'm happy he did it. But Dion fits with anybody we've had here. He's an interesting young man because he's super quiet. He's super quiet. He doesn't say a lot. He leads by example. A lot of kids want the spotlight to look at me. Dion's not like that. Dion goes about his business every day. I say a lot of times his dad was in the Air Force, and you can tell how Dion was raised. Great family. But you could tell when his dad said, this is what we're doing, that's what they did. Dion has rarely questioned anything we've asked him to do here. And I've watched him just grow into a guy that, you know, I don't say many guys could play in the NBA because it's so hard. But I think Dion is a kid that, and I'm not saying after this year, but I think Dion could play on anybody's team in the country right now. He's going to break the records for three-point shooting at Monmouth, most 3 points made. He's been first team all-league as a junior. He should do that again. We have some great players at the top of this league with the Pickett young man up there. I think he's winning it as a sophomore, so I think it will be hard for anybody to take it from him. But I think Dion is the type of kid, if we have the right season this year, that he could be a player of the year guy. I think he's a guy that in 2 or 3 years from now, when he's 25 years old, could have a chance to play in the NBA. Because he's very disciplined, his body is amazing, and his game is evolving. Dion was a shooter. Now he can post up. Now he's putting it on the floor for us. And the thing I'm trying to get him to do more is lead vocally, because his voice has a lot of weight. He just doesn't use it a lot. So I'm trying to tell him, for him to be able to take that step and be able to play in the NBA, he's going to have to talk more. So we have this thing right now that if Dion doesn't talk, it's a technical, okay? So trying to get a little bit of control of it, but he's been tremendous so far in practice, just trying to lead with the other guys.
Now, your other Maryland guy, Donovan Jackson, transferred from Chattanooga. What are you guys looking for him to add to your team this year? And what do you think that he can bring, to the backcourt, obviously, with Chapu and with Dion and a lot of other guards that you guys have in your backcourt?
Donovan can score the ball on anybody, okay? He can score. He can shoot it. He has a big chip on his shoulder. We always pick on him. We call him Bebe's kids because he's so small. Coach Reed is always on him. He calls him one muscle. He pulls out little things and says that's his genes. But Donovan, he's as tough as they come, and he knows he can play basketball. Now, when you have 4 older guys that have been doing it together and you have this new guy that might score better than everybody, how do you put that together? Well, we're basketball players. The more guys that can score the ball, the better it is for everybody. What I got to get from Donovan, this past year, I let him do anything he wanted in practice. And I found that he thinks he can make any shot. It's like, yo, bro, come on, man. And he always says, there it go. And then it's like, who knows what happens when he says that. Okay? So it's like, yo, my man, I got to get you to take the right shots, and then you'll shoot about 55%. No one can guard you. Nobody has been able to guard him since he's been here. And even the guys in last summer when he was here, Justin and those guys were like, wow, coach, this guy can really do it. But you should never settle. When you have that much ability to score the ball, comes a lot of responsibility, because you should never take a bad shot, because the other guys don't get to take those shots. And you're a guy that gets to take any shot you want. Well, then don't take bad ones, because that's kind of rubbing it in the face of the guys that don't get to shoot. And Donovan's been great so far. He's been down a little bit because he tweaked his knee. But since he's been back in practice, once again, guys are struggling to keep him in front. The thing I've liked is he's led the younger group when he's been in. He's totally slowed them down and made them better. And when you put him with the Dion group, that's just more firepower. And Dion is so unselfish. I think that will help Donovan with his shot selection to make us a better team.
Now, obviously, me and my brother were obviously in the MAC played against you guys for 4 years. And I can remember back in the day with the bench mob days, and when you guys were upsetting, UCLA's and the Rutgers and all these high major teams. And you guys were literally on the verge of getting the automatic bid in the NCAA tournament. What do you think you guys have to do to kind of get back to that level where you guys are, right there knocking on the door for the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think our league is a tough league. And I think we haven't maybe earned the respect nationally that this league deserves, because we beat up on each other a lot. And I think we might have a little bit of a marketing problem. I think we should market the players way more. And if Sienna has the best player, I got to be out there saying, this kid is really great, okay? And not be mad because he plays great against me and beats me all the time, but be happy that someone in our league has this much ability. And I think we should put that out there more and really promote the players to get our league more respected. And I think then when that happens, I think we'll continue to be able to recruit at a high level. But then you just have to win games. I think the years that we had that, we knew we had a good team. I didn't know we could do all those things that we did, but I had a group of kids that believed in each other. You can look in my office, I still have a poster of those guys, and they came up with that. And that's what we're trying to recreate. That's not coaching, okay? That year I almost messed them up because I wanted to put more plays in because I thought I had a good team and I had to control it. And then I called my friends, Jeff Lebo, the main one, and he said, King, I watched your team. You don't need any more plays, man. Just let those kids play. Okay, give it to the little fella and get out the way. Okay, give him some space because he's sharing the ball. He was like, you take kids out late in the game and nobody complains. And I was like, well, we just don't do that to each other. He was like, well, you got something going there. That's really cool, man. And I think that's what happened with us, with that group. And we're trying to get that again. I like the feel of this group. And when kids don't care who gets the credit and everybody's just all the way in, not in till I hit a shot, then you're mad, okay? Not kind of in, but all the way in where, Josh James held that team together and people didn't even know. People didn't even know. Austin Tillman played in the game against USC in Orlando that made us win the game. And Josh James joined the bench mob that game. And it was like, he was a starter that played about 9 minutes that game. And didn't care and was so happy because Austin was having a day. And when you can get kids believing in each other and believing in what you do like that, I think we could get back up there. But I might coach a long time and not have that type of feeling again. And that's the thing about coaching, you know. But the feeling that I get about sharing this game, the feeling that I get from being able to be the coach for 10 years at a place as a black head coach, because there's so many guys that have come before me, you know. So I've learned that the winning and losing is going to come and go. Okay, but the impact that I can have on these kids is what's important to me. It's why I always coached. Um, I like to win, so you get all fired up. But I think like 26 out of 27 graduates. I got one that hasn't, and he put his name in early, but he's working towards finishing it. And everybody else is going to graduate, and then they're going on to do major things. And if I never get to feel that feeling again from winning games, and it only is that I get to help impact guys and even guys like you that go back to their community that I'd coached against and do big time things to make a difference, then all of this was worth it, and I won more than I ever could imagine.
Mm. And talking about, being a black head coach, obviously in the MAC, obviously you, Shaheen Holloway, Kevin Baggett, and obviously on a national level, we've spoken to Leonard Hamilton and Richie Riley and Jamie Christian, who used to coach in the MAC. Talk about what it means to you to be a black head coach, leading a group of predominantly black young men into the future, and what it's meant to follow in the footsteps of guys like the late great John Thompson and guys who came along to kind of set the stage for Black African Americans, like all three of us today.
Well, I feel very fortunate that I get to do this. Okay, a lot of times it's humbling because I look around the country and there are so many guys, younger, older, that are better at this than I am. Okay, that are black men just like me. And I think our representation at times has gotten better, but it needs to be way better. Okay, people need to understand we can be the head coach. We can, like I said, I'm fortunate I get to be at Monmouth for this is my 10th year. I looked at some pictures the other day. I didn't have a great streak. I didn't have all these wrinkles on my face. My eyes weren't swollen every day. Okay, I was like, man, I was like this young dude ready to do it. And, so I feel so fortunate. I think back to my times watching Georgetown, and I wanted Syracuse to beat them all the time. But I always thought it was unfair how they tried to paint Coach Thompson into being this mean guy for standing up for his players. Some of the things that were said to the Georgetown players, even as a guy that wanted Syracuse to win sitting there as a kid, it just wasn't right. And then he would stand up for them, and then they would write bad things about him. Okay, so I'm fortunate that I get to do this. I'm following guys right now. Coach Ham is the best. Okay, you mentioned Shaheen. I think Shaheen is a star in this business. Okay, Kevin Baggett, I just talked to him as I was walking in the building. Reggie Witherspoon coached two of my high school friends in college. So we're friends. We're trying to stand strong together in the MAC to get the ADs and the presidents to understand that they should lean on us in tough situations and maybe open their eyes to that there are more men out there, black men out there that could run programs. Conzo Martin is somebody that I was in college before him, but I listened to him speak all the time. And what he's doing to help coaches, all coaches, but mainly black coaches, is incredible. I've been on some calls where Shaka Smart, okay, Shaka is doing some incredible things behind the scenes that I wish was out front, okay, because what he is doing, empowering young black assistant coaches and showing them that they will be ready to be head coaches and they should think in terms of being head coaches. Dennis Gates at Cleveland State. I recruited Dennis back in the day when I was at Illinois State. and the man that he is, and watching these young brothers, Ashley Howard at LaSalle, okay? These dudes are getting together and building something, a coalition, however you want to call it, that we have people to talk to also, because you get this job, and I want to call Coach Hamilton, and he's always available. But Coach Hamilton's coaching his team when I'm having my problems. Okay, so is there enough people for us to call? And I think that as long as we continue to reach out to each other as Black men that they are in this business, and also reach out to the men that are the AAU coaches and the high school coaches, and all of us try to understand each other's struggle. You know, me trying to understand what the AAU guys are going through, and them to understand what we're going through. And then just to have conversations to make it better for everybody. I think but you know, because of all the rules, we aren't supposed to be with those guys all the time, or they're not supposed to be with us, or I'm not supposed to help them because I'm a coach and I might be up to something to get a kid that's 4 years old right now.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, man, allow us to help each other even while we're in this business, and I think we'll be doing things. Another guy that I listen to and look up to that's in the business is Rob Lanier down at Georgia State. He's another guy that's my age, that's on the front lines trying to help young brothers in this business. And I call him a friend. I call Rob a lot to calm down, because I get frustrated and want to go crazy on folks. He'll be like, King, let's try to reach them a different way. You know, let's walk in the room and talk to them and get them that way instead of kicking the door down. So there are so many men in this business that can help each other, that are helping young men, that I'm fortunate that I get to call them friends in this business.
Now, one of the big things over the summer, when everybody was kind of shut down, even in the bubble with the NBA, was this whole theme of social justice. We all seen the NBA, what they were doing as far as different messages, different protests. Do you guys have any plans at Monmouth this year to kind of, you know, continue to push that message forward during the season? I know a lot of programs had their own plans and ways they were going to kind of do certain things. Have you guys talked about anything, ways that you can kind of, you know, make your voices heard within your program, or have your players say anything along that note?
Well, I think this is such an important time right now, because I think our young men are learning how strong their voices are. And not only learning that they're strong, but being willing to use them. Because I think for so long, we feel like we can say stuff, but when we do, there's always a major backlash. So I'm trying to empower them and let them know, hey, I'll stand in front of you. Okay, I'm not going to let anything happen to you if you feel however you feel about things. Okay, we've talked about kneeling for the flag. Some guys want to, some guys don't want to. We're going to leave that to them. And once again, I have great leadership here. Okay, I'm very fortunate. I know the MAC is trying to do some things, but I want to see it before. I want to see the support when things really happen in this league. I want to see if they really support our kids. But I know at Monmouth, our president, he's been amazing since he's been our president. He's been out front of all these issues. We had Wilson Hall on our campus that just 5 years ago, they tried to change the name. All the Black alums and professors on campus and our board of trust voted unanimously to keep the name the same. And it was a big blow to a lot of people on campus when that went down. Our new president comes in, we're in a pandemic, all this stuff is going on, and the building name gets changed. Okay, and he was on the front line. And now it's no longer Wilson Hall, and it happened immediately, okay? And his convocation to the school, he talked about Breonna Taylor. I thought it was a setup because I had to go to it, and everybody was social distanced. And then all of a sudden, he starts talking about Black Lives Matter and all the issues in the country as he's addressing all the Monmouth alums and everybody online. And I'm like, okay, is this a setup? They waiting for me to do something in here? What's going on? And okay, this dude is serious. Like he just and how Monmouth needs to be better. Okay, and if your president is out in the front saying it like that, it's like, guys, you could feel safe that you get to stand up. And they also at Monmouth, this is why I'm so fortunate, and this happened before I even got involved trying to help. They also had a $3 million endowment started to make it better for Black students on campus and to attract more Black students on our campus. And, you know, a lot of people were saying we need to have tough conversations, and Monmouth made action steps. Okay, they tried to show, okay, we need these tough conversations, but we need to do more than that. We need to do more than that. And I've been fortunate that I've been the one they come to talk to the Board of Trust. And I talked to the Sports Board of Trust and got some things implemented. And also the president brought me in to talk to the whole school Board of Trust. I don't hold my tongue. I tell them where my faults are. I tell them where I think their faults are and where we could be better. And so far, I'm still the coach, so I think they, I think they took my message the right way. I'm happy that I get to work here and help these young men find their voices and work along people that maybe I thought should have understood earlier, and they didn't, but they're willing to open their doors to hear it from me on how we can work better together and make things better for Black students, Black faculty at Monmouth. And that's what's important to me. I'm about getting things done. And then just making sure my kids know if they stand up and say something, the backlash isn't gonna make them have to leave here.
One thing I wanted to be sure to get your opinion on kind of a different topic was the MAC schedule. They had originally came out with the they had an implemented schedule where they were gonna, I believe, play on Tuesdays and Fridays, and they had dates implemented in the end of the schedule for like days off in case you had a makeup game and stuff like that. And they recently switched to the back-to-back days against the same opponent. And I noticed that there was they said it was a 6-5 vote. So it was far from unanimous in the MAC to go from the schedule they had before to what they have now. Where do you fall on that end of the spectrum, and what are your thoughts on the new schedule playing on back-to-back days versus the same opponent?
All right, y'all trying to get me in trouble? Y'all trying to get me in trouble? Okay. Well, obviously, every year they put out the schedule and coaches go crazy.
Yeah.
I don't even look at it when they first put it out, okay? Because I don't think that I'm going to have a good schedule, ever. Ever. Because I speak too freely in the meetings, all right? So because of COVID, they're going to change it a whole bunch of times. Did they come up with the best ways for it to be safe for the kids? I'm not sure. Is it probably close to the best way to save money? I think so. Okay, so, and that's very important. You guys were in our league. You know how this league is. It's important that, everybody can do certain things, but it's not equal for everybody. So I think they tried to come up with what was the best way. Okay, now with that being said, each time they came with a new schedule, like we would have had meetings in between. All right, last week we had to do our first MAC, like coaches call, Zoom, all right? And I came and I had Black Lives Matter on, okay? So I started getting texts during it from the other coaches like, yo, you're crazy. Yo, King, look at you, all right? And I'm like, all right, guys, I was going to wear it, especially today. Like, come on, it's the first day. Come on. Of course. So, well, then our schedule came out, and I'm going to Iona. I'm going to Manhattan. I'm going to Siena. I'm going to Ryder. And I'm going, what's the other one? whoever the other top person in the league is. The only one in the top 5 that's coming to me is St. Peter's, right after we play Iona. So I got Iona at Iona, St. Peter's at home, and then I go to Manhattan, and then I got like Marist at home, and then I go to Niagara. That was the other one. So I go to number 1, number 2, number 4, number 5. All right, I go to all of them. And you tell me how I like our new schedule arrangement. You tell me what that was, because I'm not going to say what I think it is, but everybody knows because Key won't be quiet. He got to go the hardest one out of everybody. So, yes, thank you, Mac. I got a great schedule, and hopefully my older guys can deal with it. Yeah, all right, y'all know, y'all been in this league, y'all know. Don't act like y'all don't know.
I can't even argue with you, Coach. I can't even argue with you.
No, guys, when I saw it, I couldn't even believe it. I was like, oh, they mad. I said, they mad.
Hey, listen, man. Hey, listen. That just means it'll be even sweeter if y'all can get through and come out with your head above water.
That's what we talk about here. I told our guys, no matter what we get thrown in front of us. All right, guys, and this is just how I do. I made a lot of choices when I was younger that made a lot of things get thrown in front of me, my own cause. All right, but you don't get to make any excuses. Whatever somebody throws in front of you, you better keep it moving. Okay, you better get over it, around it, however you got to do to keep moving, especially us. We don't get to stop, guys. Okay, I was on a Mac Zoom about social justice stuff, and I was mad I had to go on. And I was mad. I'm like, what they gonna teach me? They're making us do this. They need to be on. And I went on, and these 2 ladies taught me so much in that 2 hours on there. Okay, one of the ladies, Stephanie, is married to Jeff Arnold, who coaches at Ryder. And I always thought Jeff was sharp. But this lady, she was so incredible. Okay, she teaches at St. Joe's. And I'm so glad the Mac made us do it, because they talked for 2 hours, tried to help us figure out ways to help our kids and different things. And then towards the end, I was driving, so I didn't get to talk a lot. And she was like, King, where are you going? Because you know, I just keep seeing you look up, and you've been driving the whole time we've been in this seminar. So I told her, and then she said, well, what do you think? And I told her some of my frustrations about the league and how guys say things behind the scenes, then we say it up front and people don't back you up. And I'm tired of having to fix it all the time for everybody. People act like they don't understand. I think they understand. They're faking and all. And I'm tired of having to fix it for everybody that don't look like me. And she listened, let me go for a while. And then she talked about her role. And she talked about her being a professor and her walk, her journey throughout this whole thing. And then she kind of brought it all around to, we don't get to get tired. Okay, my dad never got tired trying to make it better for Black folks. He never got tired. He never had anything. He didn't have a lot. Okay, but he never was tired standing up for the Black community ever. And I started finding myself saying, man, I'm getting tired of this. I'm tired of having to keep doing this. Well, wait a minute. Well, why am I tired? He never was tired. Why would I be tired? Oh, because I have a few things now. Now I'm capable of getting tired. Well, that's totally wrong. And because of that, I did a better job on my call with the Board of Trust. Okay, I'm not tired anymore. When the brother tells me that he's tired about trying to help in this, we don't get to get tired, fellas. When my players try to say they're tired of COVID, we don't get to get tired just because of the people that came before us. They never got tired, so we got to keep on fighting. We got to keep trying to make people understand more and better, okay? And I feel like I'm one of the guys that could do it, because I tricked myself into thinking I was tired for a minute. I'm not tired at all, okay? And I'll be out here sometimes too loud trying to make my point, but I think in over my 51 years, I'm starting to learn other ways to get my point across, and hopefully I can help whoever needs the help.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, Coach, switching gears a little bit, man, on a lighter note. So I'm gonna put you on the spot here, Coach. You know, you're a UNC guy. You know, so we never asked anybody this before. So I'm gonna ask you. You need to give us your top 5 players to suit up at UNC, man. I need the top 5, in your opinion, guys to put that Tar Heel jersey on.
Oh man, you're gonna have my friends mad at me. You're gonna have dudes like, oh, dude, how you going? Man, you can't do that. You can't do that. But we gonna hit them with Phil Ford. Gotta go there. Phil Ford gotta go there. You want each position so then they can hoop together, or just anybody? We'll go that route. And then we'll go with Black Jesus, number 23. We'll go with him. And then
what is this order? Point guard, shooting guard. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So we'll go with Phil at the point.
Got you.
Mike at the 2. Now y'all hurting me. Now y'all hurting me. We gonna mess you up and switch this around and go. We gonna go Big Game James at the 3, J.R. Reed at the 4, and oh man, who's at the 5? Let me see. We'll go with one of the older guys. No, we'll go with Lenny Rosenbluth. That will be my 5. All right, Lenny Rosenbluth, J.R. Worthy, Mike, and Phil Ford.
I'm gonna have to look up the 5. I don't think I heard of him order 1. I'm gonna look up the 1 and the 5. The 1.
Okay, Phil Ford. All right, you know they talk about North Carolina 4 corners.
Yep.
That's all I need to tell you, brother. He was a number 3 pick in the NBA, but 4 corners. Phil, everybody, yeah, he was crazy. Then Mike, Big Game James is James Worthy.
Yeah.
JR is JR, and then Tommy, that's a different one. Lenny Rosenbluth, all right? They beat Kansas when Wilt Chamberlain played. He was number 10.
Way back. He went way back in the archive.
In 57, Mr. Rosenbluth, and he's still with us. They beat Wilt. All right? So for number 10, you don't see nobody wear number 10 no more. You don't see nobody wear number 12. That's Phil. You don't see nobody wear number 23. That's Mike. You can still wear 34. A whole bunch of bad dudes wore that one. And then you can't wear 52. Can't wear Big Game James number.
So no Hansborough. No Hansborough on the list. I think he's the all-time leading scorer. He might be the best.
No, Tyler was my man. I was there when he was a freshman. That's my dude. But I ain't putting him in front of Mr. Rosenbluth. Y'all crazy? Y'all trying to get me kicked out the family? This is going deeper than the last 10 years now.
I respect it, man. We respect it, man. Well, we don't want to take up too much of your time. This has been amazing, man. For what, 50 minutes we've been sitting there talking, man. Definitely didn't expect for it to go this long, but thank you for taking time out of your day, man. Sit down and talk to us, man. We thoroughly enjoyed it, man. And we'll be watching you guys, after we're always tuned into the MAC. So good luck with that gauntlet of a schedule, man. And we'll definitely be tuned in, man.
Hey, fellas, man, y'all keep doing your thing. If I can help you in any way, man, please let me know. Lazar Sims told me about y'all when y'all was young dudes, man. He told me about you dudes, and that's been my man for a long time. So I've been following y'all since before you even knew it, and I'll continue to follow you guys, man. All right?
Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it, Coach.
Cool.
All right, have a good one, man.
All right, fellas.